At I Love Spearfish, you'll discover a carefully curated selection of stylish frames in a welcoming atmosphere. Their experienced optometrists focus on your comfort and vision needs every step of the way. From thorough eye exams to personal care, they ensure you leave feeling confident and satisfied. Visit I Love Spearfish today, where your eyes are in expert hands.
Hey guys, welcome back to the very first podcast of Odrix Sports. First of all, we got to bring in, of course, Coach Tieszen, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
This is going to be a fun season. I know we said that last year, but with now getting the live stream and kind of in place and a lot of different things going on, I'm really excited to see kind of that next step with the team.
Yeah, it's always tough when a season comes to an end, missing those guys, and then kind of off season having that transition to finding a new team with new leaders and seeing those guys grow. And it's hard to say. One season is more exciting than another, but this is going to be a really fun season with a lot of guys that have been around for a while, and I'm excited about it.
Absolutely. And how could I forget? Marina's also joining us. Thank you so much for coming in. You excited? So we made it out to the 7th and 8th grade, or at least the first day of 7th and 8th grade football camp yesterday. Don't want to focus too much on it because I don't think obviously you're not going to work with them a ton this year, but just kind of a preliminary sense. What's it like kind of, knocking the rust off, kind of just getting out with your coaching staff and just kind of seeing what the future may hold for Spearfish football?
Yeah, well, first thing, we had some great numbers from our middle school guys. I think we had 43 at camp, which is good, especially I had to make it a little short notice for camp. So seeing those numbers was awesome. Seeing some of the talent and the size was awesome. And then seeing the commitment of those guys. Once they were there, they were locked in and ready to go. There wasn't very much horseplay or goofing around. They were there to work and get better. And that's kind of exciting that when the work becomes the fun part for our program, and that's how they have fun, that's when a lot of results come.
Yeah. And I feel like, too, in a way, this is obviously a precursor for what they can face in high school. And I really like the aspect of just kind of looking at even just the basics of tackling drills, and then kind of even just going through concepts of what the defense that you run now, and then building on that. One other thing I wanted to touch on is the summer lifting program. Obviously, you guys got a lot going on. What's that kind of like, just trying to balance, obviously, what football is like, and then also from a lifting perspective?
Yeah, summer is a busy time if you're a Spartan athlete. We've got a ton of things going on, and our athletes have done a great job of buying in, and that's why Spartan athletics on a whole are on and up. All of the sports are doing great. It's because the athletes are buying into what the coaches are talking about, and we have the best strength coach in the state in Eric Santer. He does such a great job putting size and strength and speed on our football boys, and strength and speed on a lot of the other sports. But his programming is phenomenal, and he's got a great relationship with the athletes too. Mm-hmm. So he's another asset for us, and balancing the football with it. It's nice. We work with boys basketball because we share so many athletes, where we have lifting, and basketball boys lift with football that are in both sports, and then we 2 days a week have open gym immediately following that, 7 to 8. Then they get a little bit of a break time, and then they get open gym for basketball from 9 to 10. So it works kind of really well where those guys get to have a good morning of activity, and then have the rest of their day to work or whatever they need to do. So we've got a pretty good balance, and we've had about 43 guys be 90 percenters. We talk about 90 percenters a lot, making it to 90% of the stuff. Last year we were at 26, and tracking it, looking at the 90% correlation with our win record, there's a direct correlation, so as the 90 percenters go up, as more people are committed to the off season, our wins go up as well.
Mm-hmm. And do you think, just from what you guys have built, you and Mr. Wayman have built over the past, 4 or 5 seasons, it really just feels like, yes, we did lose some in terms of the senior leadership, but they left behind so much just in terms of an impact. Like, what's that kind of, like, just from what the preliminary stuff you're seeing now, what's that kind of telling you?
It's, you hate losing senior leaders, especially great ones that have been with your program for 4 years and do all the things that you ask them to do, your Hunter Walters, your Leighton Loop. But it's nice when you can say that a senior's biggest impact wasn't their senior season.
Yeah.
It was what they, continued on for 4 years, and you can feel their legacy going on. And it's nice, hearing guys say, "Oh, Luke told me this," or whatever, and kind of passing that torch down. And then hearing some things from our current seniors, and hearing things and being like, I think they got that from one of those guys. So that passing it down, and a senior is, you've got a good senior when their legacy lasts more than their senior year.
Yep. And do you feel like, because even you did a drill yesterday too, and you kind of alluded to it a little bit, as like, and I forgot the drill off the top of my head, forgive me, but basically you had bags, you had a circle, and you had guys coming in from the side with bags. And one of the things was to rotate was the fact that, you had guys talking about where they were from, and, just kind of building that camaraderie in another aspect, because I do think that that's such a big thing. In your opinion, like, how big is that when guys are talking to each other on that different level, hanging out like we've talked about? Like, how big is that in a time when you get later in the season and things are harder, like you're going through the grind? Like, how big is that?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think it's at least 50% of the game. You're going to win games that you're supposed to win, whether your teammates get along or not. But games that you're maybe underdogs in, or you have to face a lot of adversity, that's where that really comes in handy. And going through a long season, with some great tough opponents like we have, having that team camaraderie of we'll get through this together is huge. That's something that we really harp on, is the team camaraderie and knowing each other. That drill you're talking about, chicken coop, when we rotate guys, they have to talk about who, different questions so that they start getting to know each other. And that's kind of a small thing. In fall camp here, we will do a speed dating day. And so, speed dating, they partner up and they have a list of questions that they have to go through and ask and answer. And it starts off, super simple, like, what's your favorite song? What's your favorite movie? And then it gets more and more personal as you go. So the last question is always, what's your most embarrassing moment? And we talk about this all the time, that what's said on our team stays on our team, and we don't talk to other people about our team negatively. We don't, we're the circle of trust there. So any of those embarrassing stories, we're the only ones that know those. And I offer up my own embarrassing story, and so it's just building that trust and being able to trust on those guys and lean on them when things get tough.
Yep. And do you feel like, as we go throughout the process, the first day of camp is August 11th, if I'm not mistaken. Between now and then, what's kind of the focus, just from a lifting perspective, from a camaraderie perspective, when you talk about, and even really just kind of, the build up for it, because I gotta be honest, like being on the field yesterday, like just smelling the grass and just kind of that energy. It's like, thank God we're back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what was it? What's that kind of like for you, getting back in the groove of things, but also just kind of looking forward? Like we're about 30 days away.
Yeah. July is a fun month for us. So all throughout the summer, we have 2 open field days. In June, it's an offensive day and a defensive day. In July, it turns into a football day and a team building day. So our second day of the week, which was this morning, is a team bonding day. So today we, did some challenges that they had to communicate with their teammates, and some lessons about, risk and reward and being able to trust your teammates. So all July we really work on that team bonding. And like I said, it's 50% of what wins you games. So we spend 50% of the time in July on team bonding. Next week, hopefully, we're going to be going down and doing a laser tag tournament in Rapid for our team bonding day.
Nice.
And so it's going to be, and then the week after that, we're helping out with the youth camp. So that's kind of our team bonding day. They get to teach those guys. And then the last week, haven't figured out what we're doing team bonding yet for that last week, but looking forward to it and building that culture still.
Now, again, I don't want to touch too much into what the playbook and everything will look like for this season, but I do think that it will be interesting when you talk about a loss of a guy like Hunter Walters, what arguably could be considered a huge identity piece for your offense. But at the same time, you had so many players that rose up in key spots. We talk about Carson Sire, All-State corner. You talk about Cade Vavruska, who, made a heck of a catch against Watertown last year. And really, in my opinion, he established himself as a corner piece for offense. You talk about, I think Mick's going to be solid this year. When you look at the pieces around what you have again now, I felt like it's another situation where last year you're like, how do I figure out how to feed everyone? What are your thoughts on just kind of, even just now watching tape and just getting ready for building an offense again?
Yeah, it's been fun trying to figure out, who fits what position well, what kind of packages we're going to have. The nice thing about this year is Hunter Walters is one of the best players I've ever coached, from a football perspective, an athletic perspective, but also a person perspective. And what's nice is this year we have enough other guys that we won't need a Hunter Walters kind of guy to carry the team in certain times. So we've got a lot of talent that is going to step up into those different roles. And he really set the bar and gave a good example of, what it looks like to be that guy. And I think we've got a lot of guys hungry to be that guy that we can count on. Like you said, Vavruska, Sire are going to be juniors this year, upperclassmen, guys we leaned on a lot last year. Thomas Hughes and his brother Graham Hughes. Some of our running backs are great running backs. They just happen to be behind one of the best running backs that we've seen in a long time, so we haven't gotten to see them. Lathan Lucas runs the heck out of the ball. Graham Hughes, Mick Bosch are all names you're going to be hearing running that ball. But really it all starts up front, and this is going to be the best O-line that, I've had since I've been coaching, maybe since 2015, 2016, when Spearfish made semifinals 2 years in a row. This line might even be better. Last year was probably close to that too, and this year is even better. So it all starts behind those guys, and they've been the most dedicated group that we've got, and it's showing.
That's big when you consider the loss of like guys like Loop and all that stuff too. So if you say that it's going to be better, okay, I'm excited. There was a couple of players. So when we talk about one of the things that also went on was the SDSU camp and everything. There is some players that when you take a look at now that people are obviously really excited for. There's a Shar Hodges who I think you said had gotten the defensive lineman or he won a defensive lineman award. Most valuable defensive lineman. And then also, just top to bottom, what are camps like that really like? Do they play a role in just you kind of building around what you have, and what do those camps do for you? Yeah,
I see camps as serving three different purposes. One is building team culture and team camaraderie, which again, anytime we have an opportunity to do that, we're going to take it. We're out there for 3 days. They have to be in the dorms together. They have to do stuff together, and it lets those guys kind of see how they fit into the scheme. But more importantly, it lets us try some things out. Try guys in positions, try different plays, be like, oh, I like this, I don't like that, and kind of give us a starting point for the season. So, SDSU camp was fun. We had a lot of guys get individual awards, which hasn't happened at a team camp in a long time. They were out there doing really well. And I think the two things I was most proud of, though, was our JV team winning the Jackrabbit competition. They did a great job. Our varsity competed very well. We had some difficulties early that kept us out of winning it. But more importantly, we won the Jackrabbit Team Award, which was awarded to the team that did all of the things the best at camp. They said the best in the dorms, the best in individual drills, the best in the competition periods and scrimmage periods. We won that, and that's what we preach. We're going to be the best team in South Dakota, and they told us, with that award that we were the best team at camp. So very proud of our guys for going out and doing that, and I think they've got a lot of pride being Spartans, and it means something to all of these guys.
It's really cool to me, just being around a program that, you talk about being the best, you talk about being the try to winning a state title, because that's the ultimate goal. What does that do for a mindset for you guys? I feel like if you want to get there, you have to talk about it. You have to put it out there. You have to, even if, whatever, regardless of what happens, there's just that mindset. I feel like that's such a big part of that, a part of the culture for you. What's that kind of do from a mindset for the team, and how do you see that being a part of your program?
It is tough. It's a tough balance of, this is a real possibility of winning a state championship, but also I think the best way to get to that point is just to take care of the steps in between. And you do that by following exactly what we talked about, being the best team. If we're the best team, we're gonna win. The wins will take care of themselves. If the Denver Broncos happen to be a AA team this year, we're not going to win the state championship. Does that mean that we were a bad team and we didn't reach our goals? No. They just happen to have a better team than us. But I'd like to, if we are going against the Denver Broncos in the state championship, we're going to be the team that leaves the locker room the cleanest. We're going to be the ones that are the most respectful on the bus. So we're gonna find other ways to be the best team in South Dakota, and if that includes a state title, it includes a state title. Very possible with the group of guys we got here and coming up. So excited about just seeing where this team can go.
Absolutely. And then finally, so we touched on just real quick recap for everyone. So obviously camp starts the 11th. We'll have Tuesday and Wednesday throwing sessions or field sessions, the other one being obviously the team camaraderie aspect of it too. Also 7-on-7, July 19th at Sturgis. Let's talk about that a little bit. What do you see happening there?
Yeah, I think we get 3 scrimmages there. So there's a lot of good teams coming. It's a good thing that Coach Kolecki puts on for the teams in the area to go out and have some fun and compete. We're going to see some teams that we see later this year, so it's going to kind of be fun to see where we're at and gauge kind of that competitiveness. Us and Sturgis, I don't think it matters who's on a hot streak, who's not on a hot streak. It's going to be a good game no matter what. Just, one of those rivalry games that both of us happen to play well, whether we should be or not. So, they're a fun team to go against, and it's nice, a lot of our guys are friends with them, and it's that kind of competitiveness with your sibling almost. And so going out there, doing the 7-on-7 and then the Hog Olympics will be fun, and it's a chance to just kind of get one more competition in before the season really rolls.
Awesome. You excited for the season? What's your favorite part?
What's your favorite part of football? Do you like going to the games?
Yeah.
You like going to the games?
Yeah.
Are you going to cheer this year?
Yeah.
What color do we always cheer for?
Maroon.
Maroon. Good job. Yeah.
Yeah, go Spartans. Well, Coach Tieszen, thank you so much for coming on. Anything else you'd like to add as we kind of, get through I don't even want to say get through, but after yesterday, it's like kind of give you a taste. We're almost there. Anything else you'd like to add, just kind of moving forward?
I just want to thank my coaching staff. They put in a ton of time, not just during the season, but during the summer too. Coach Douglas, D coordinator, does a great job for us. Coach Harkless, Coach Powers, Coach Sudbeck, Coach Norton, Coach Kitefers, Coach Rodert, all do a great job for us. Hopefully I didn't leave anybody out there.
We'll edit it in.
Got to go through my positions here. I got DBs, linebackers, D-line, O-line, quarterbacks. So I said Coach Norton, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So, I want to thank those guys. They're such a good group of guys, and we've said it before. We love football. We absolutely love football. We love being around the guys, and we love being around each other. So, football for us, we get to be around 3 things that we love. So it's really awesome and special.
Heck yeah. Well, Coach, we'll definitely touch base as we kind of get ready for camp and everything, but good luck with this season. And like we said, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Go Spartans.
Good job.
This production is brought to you by our sponsors: Black Mountain Painting, Legacy Custom Homes and Design, Spearfish Building Supply, the Bashful Bison in Rapid City, Signature Auto Sales, Adam Johnson Pioneer Properties, Millstone Family Restaurant in Spearfish, the Clubhouse of Spearfish, the Golf Club at Devil's Tower, McDonald's in Spearfish, Good Earth Natural Foods, I Love Spearfish, Queen City Door, American Family Insurance Mariah Duvall Agency, Tropical Smoothie Cafe in Spearfish, MJ Plumbing, and Northern Hills Golf Car.